If you're watching this video, you're either one of these two people. You're either brand new to trading and you're curious and want to know how you can get more control over your income, but you don't know where to start. Or two, you've tried trading before and you might understand a little bit, or you've been inconsistent, but you're still confused and stuck without real guidance and real profitability. So if you fall into either of these, this video is for you. Now, this is not for people who are looking for fast money, who don't want to be coached, or for those who are looking for signals without learning, because I do not give those. This is for those who want structure and hands-on guidance, those who are willing to learn a real skill even when it feels uncomfortable. Now, before I get into the nitty-gritty, I do want to show some testimonials because I know that's what y'all looking for, including one of my students, Pearl. She's 50 years old, a working mom, and she was able to flip $500 to $50,000 in 3 months. Okay. Now, it's not common, but it's just showing you what's possible. And she came to me as her last resort. She literally said, if I do this with you and this does not work, I am quitting trading. And now look at her. Look at her life now. So whether you decide to work with me or go learn from someone else, my goal is simple. I want you to stop guessing. And I want you to understand what actually works so you can build confidence, consistency, and control with your money. So if you're ready for that, keep watching this video. Now, I want us to get into the good stuff because I know that's what you're here for. And this is going to give you clarity if this is for you or not. So I'm going to pull up my charts right now, and we're going to go through everything you need to learn to see if this is the right fit for you. This is for my beginners. So when it comes to currencies, all it is all these different countries that are exchanging money online. So like how there's the US, there's Japan, it's the Great British Pound. So what we're doing is we're just virtually buying and selling based off what we see happening in the market. Okay. So for example, right here, this is the euro versus the US dollar chart. So all we're looking for is entries, exits, and where the market is going. Okay. So you always want to make sure that you have 3 confirmations before entering the market, because that means that it's giving you the highest probability that this is going to happen. And like I say, nothing is ever guaranteed. That's why we always do the highest probability. Exits. This is where we know where to take profit, where to get out the market, and where the market is going. This is how we know if we are going to be buying or selling. So right now, I want to talk about where it comes to the direction of the market, whether you know where to buy or where to sell, and the whole concept behind it, okay? So when you are in a buyer's market, I'm going to take this area for example. What you're doing is you're finding what direction the market is in. This is going up, as you can see. So what you're trying to do is figure out where to get in and where to get out. So since I see that I'm in the buyer's market right here, I know that I'm going to enter right here at this low point. So I'm going to buy low and then sell here at the top. Buy low, sell high, okay? So since I'm in an uptrend, this is letting me know that I'm going to be taking majority buys because I'm in a buyer's market, which equals majority buy. So I'm getting in here to profit up here, okay? So I want to do the math with you guys real quick on what this is. When you're entering here and getting out there, this is something called pips. So it's just saying how far price went. So this went 194 pips and it took 3 days to play out. So now let's pull up the calculator so we can do some math. Okay, let's just go an even number, 200 pips. So we did 200 pips. And then when it comes to these lot size, this is basically just how much you're risking. We're going to go over that a bit. So I'm just going to put in something in the middle, 0.40. We'll go over that in a second. So this just means that if you put in, this is how much you want to bet on that trade, then this is the amount that you're going to make, $800. Okay. Now, just because you made this amount doesn't mean that there's no risk. There's also a downside to it. Okay. So there's something called your stop loss. So when we go on our chart, we see how much we're going to make. Now, how much are we potentially going to lose is the question. So if we're entering the market right here, this does have the possibility, instead of it going up, it could go down, which means that you're in the wrong direction. So you want to have a stop loss, which basically just means you want to have a point that if the market goes down, it's going to take you out of the market and stop you from losing more. And this is where you're able to know how much you're willing to risk per trade. So we just saw that you're able to make $800, but I always say do not focus on how much you're about to win. Focus on how much you can potentially lose, because that's how you're going to be able to go to sleep at night, just knowing that you're okay with losing a certain amount. So let's just say if our stop loss is right here, we entered here, 42 pips, okay? So let's go back to our calculator. So right now, our profit is 200 pips. The stop loss is at 42 pips. We saw 200 pips, we're going to be making $800. Now let's see how much we could potentially lose if we go in for this trade. When you play around with those numbers right here, like I had 200, 0.40, 800, right? Let's put 32. Then you see it's at 640. You put 15. See it's at 300. You put 1. You see it's at 2,000. So it goes up and down depending on what number you put in here. Okay. So we started with 0.40, $800 for 200 pips. Now we just saw that we put our stop loss at 42 pips. Now, yes, we will be making $800 if this plays out, but if it happens to go into the wrong direction, let's see how much we're going to be losing. $168, which isn't bad to make $800. Come on now. So let's go back to our chat. So now we know that, wow, it disappeared. Okay, let me rewrite it then. So now we know 200 pips with 0.40. That's how much we're betting. We'll be winning $800. And with our stop loss, we'll be potentially losing $168. And this is going to take 3 days to play out, which is not bad at all, y'all. Come on, 3 days to make $800 just from seeing that the market is going up. Okay, so this is the importance of risk management. People have always asked, like, okay, well, how much am I risking? The thing is, you decide how much you're risking. That's the great part about it. It's not just something that is just random. No, you decide how much you're going to risk. Everybody has different risk levels, but just knowing how to execute, that is the real solution. And like I said, nothing is ever 100% guaranteed. We're just going based off the highest probability. So when it comes to being in the buyer's market, you're looking for a low point to get in, buy low to sell high at the top, because there's always people buying and selling into the market. Okay. Same thing for the downtrend, except it's reversed. So when you're in a downtrend, let's make this a different color. You're looking to buy high. That's where you're entering at the top, to sell low, because there is somebody else waiting for you down there to buy what you're selling. It's just all about knowing what direction you're going in, most importantly, and then fighting what we call a pullback, which is this. I'm about to draw it out. A pullback, to know where to enter to continue riding that trade out. Since we know that we're in a downtrend, so we're getting in at this point to take a sell to profit down here. So this is where your profit is coming in. Okay, same thing right here. You're buying low to sell high. You're entering right here, and then your profit is coming in once you're riding it to the top. So this is how you're making your profit in the market, by knowing where to get in and knowing where to get out, by knowing what direction you're in the market. And that's knowing if you're in a downtrend or if you're in an uptrend. Now, there's more to this, like technicalities that you look for when entering, because you can't just look at this and just say, okay, I'm going to get in here and exit out there. Like, no. You have to have a whole chart marked up. Like, I'm going to pull up an example of my chart. I know it's going to look like a lot, but I want you guys to follow me for a little bit, okay? I have tools that I use, to let me know where to get in the market and where to get out. I use a Fibonacci. This lets me know where to get out the market, which is these little lines right here. I use zones to let me know where the stop signs are in the market, letting me know where people are stopping, what areas people are stopping in the market. And I also use RSI, which is just letting me know the temperature, like if we're about to be going into a buyer's market or if we're about to be going into a seller's market. So I use all those components along with trend lines and other stuff to let me see the big concept of what's happening in the market. And that's what I'm going to teach you in my mentorship. So I want to give you a clear example. So right here, I seen that we were in a seller's market. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So in this area down here, I had multiple confirmations letting me know that we were going to be entering buys. So first of all, we hit my TP2, which always lets me know like when we're in a higher time frame that we're going to be having a reversal coming. So that was one confirmation. Then I had my RSI, which is this black little arrow thing right here, letting me know also a reversal was coming. That's two confirmations. Now, my third and final confirmation was I had this whole zone right here that you see price kept stopping at. It stopped here, broke past it, came back to it, then pushed up. Same thing right here. It came to it, pushed up, broke through it, and then it came to a point where it broke through the blue trend line right here, but it also retested this black trend line right here. So this black trend line right here was showing me that we were in majority sales until we eventually broke through it, came back to retest. Break and retest is always needed before entering the market. And then that's when I was able to take it up. And at this point, I took it up to this first zone. And then I seen it pushed it, but I just left it alone because I already had made my profit right here. But then as we got in to this second zone, I had more confirmations just letting me know that a sell was coming. And then that's when I was able to profit again right there. So this first profit area took 15 hours. Wait, no, less. I did that wrong. This took 7 hours. 7 hours for the first one. And then when I hop back in again over here to come back down to the zone, this took 1 day. So it really just depends on what you're trading and how long it's going to take. So I teach you how to look at the bigger picture if you want to hold on to it for days, or if you want to hold on to hours. The concept is the same. It's just as you learn it, you decide how often you want to trade, how long you want to hold it for. That's the easy part. Once you learn the concept, then you decide how you want to trade. But this is how you make money in the market, by finding what direction you're in, most importantly, excuse me, and then having your confirmations to let you know what is the highest probability that this is going to continue in this direction, and knowing where to get in the market. That's most important. The very, very important. And like I just said in the beginning, the three most important things in trading is one, where the market is going. This is where I'm going to teach you how to train your eyes, because this isn't something that you're just going to get off the first time seeing it. It's something you have to practice, and I'm just your second set of eyes to show you if you're right or wrong and helping you see what I see. Second is where to enter. This is where I'm going to go over all my confirmation with you, sharing my exact strategy. Okay, there's a lot of strategies out there. You can look at stuff on YouTube, but the thing is, you cannot apply everybody's strategy. You have to have one strategy and run with it. You can't take my strategy, Joe's strategy, Samantha's strategy, and try to put it all together, because it's not supposed to be. Everybody has their one for a reason. Okay, so I'm going to share you my strategy on where to enter the market and also where to exit. This is where you're going to profit, and most importantly, learn how to manage your risk so that you're able to build your account comfortably and without stress, because we do not want to go to bed just like, oh my God, I hope this goes in the wrong direction. Like, no. You want to have ease with knowing how much you're risking. And that's really the psychology behind trading. But once you have that down packed, everything else is just like magic. Okay. Now, I want to point out the fact you guys have seen the testimonials. Now, I want to be honest with you. Okay. So the investments that my students are making are between $500 to $2,500. Oop, this is supposed to be $1. Depending on the type of mentorship you're looking for. Okay. So whether you're looking for something from me to hand it to you, and then you go through it and just, practice on your own, do whatever. Or if you really want to be more hands-on, So whether you're looking for that one-on-one or for that group coaching, so I'm able to give you feedback on your homework assignments, help you see what I see, critique you where needed, or let you know where to keep going at just to make sure that you hone in on the skill correctly without having to second guess. So I'm able to answer all your questions and so forth. That all matters to what type of investment that you're willing to put in to be able to learn this skill that's able to make you money for the rest of your life. And like I say, this is a skill, so it can't be taken away from you because it is knowledge. So once you learn it, it's yours forever. My goal is I do not want you to be dependent on me. Okay. I don't want you to be dependent on me, which is why I don't give signals. I'll give you like my overall review of what I'm looking for the week, but you're not about to catch me saying like, hey, like enter at this exact point and enter exit at this point all day long. Like, no, like I want you to be independently making decisions on your own because you're so confident in what's happening in the market. But I have to clarify this. This is not easy money. So if you're looking for something that works without effort, this is probably not for you. This is a skill. And like any real skill, fitness, business, the people who win are the ones who show up even when it's not exciting. And like I said before, whether you work with me or go learn from someone else, I just want you to stop guessing with your money. I want you to have a real system, a real skill, so you're not always hoping something works. The same way you don't get a fit body from one workout, you don't build trading income from one good week. Those who win with me aren't perfect, they're just consistent. They're willing to be coached, they're willing to follow a structure and stay disciplined. This can be life changing if it's something that you're willing to go through. Now, you don't have to decide anything today, just apply if you feel aligned. And if you're accepted and we both feel like it's a good fit, we'll move forward. If not, I just hope after you watch this video that you still leave with clarity. I'm just hoping that you stop settling for income that doesn't match the person you're becoming.